everyone else still knows. This is not the end of belonging, it is the end of forcing it, and that ending is the beginning of something more aligned. The reason you no longer fit in is not because something is wrong with you. It is because awakening quietly changes your internal structure. Before, fitting in felt natural because your identity was externally shaped. You learned how to behave, how to respond, how to belong. Much of this happened unconsciously. You adapted without questioning. Awakening interrupts this adaptation. It brings awareness to patterns that once ran automatically. You begin noticing how often you adjust yourself, how often you suppress your real response, how often you choose harmony over honesty. This noticing changes everything. Once awareness is present, You cannot go back to unconscious fitting in. Your system resists pretending, not out of rebellion, but out of integrity. Awakening does not make you different on the surface. It makes you different at the core. Your values shift. Your priorities reorganize. What once mattered deeply may now feel secondary. You may no longer be driven by approval or by the need to be understood. This internal shift creates friction with your environment. Environments are built around shared assumption, shared rhythms, shared expectations, and when your inner rhythm changes, those assumptions no longer match. You may still participate, but it feels effortful. Effort signals misalignment. Fitting in always required energy. But before awakening, you had the energy to spare. Now that energy is being redirected inward. Awakening pulls attention away from performance and toward presence. Presence does not rush, it does not compete. This can make you feel slower than the world around you. Others may seem loud, fast, certain, while you feel quieter, more reflective. This contrast can create a sense of not belonging. But what you are actually experiencing is divergence. You are no longer moving in the same direction, not because you are superior, not because you are rejecting others, but because your inner compass has changed. Awakening often dissolves social identities. Roles like the entertainer, the agreeable one, the achiever. These roles once helped you connect, but they also required compromise. As awareness grows, compromise becomes harder to tolerate. You feel discomfort when you act out of alignment. This discomfort is new. Before, you could ignore it. Now you cannot. So situations that rely on role-playing begin to feel wrong. This is why you may withdraw slightly, not because you want distance, but because you need truth. Truth creates temporary separation. Not everyone is ready to meet you without masks, and that is okay. Awakening does not demand that others change. It simply stops you from pretending. When pretending ends, fitting in becomes impossible, because fitting in required performance. What you are learning now is how to stand without performance. This can feel exposed, vulnerable. You may feel unsure how to engage without your old scripts. This uncertainty is part of identity restructuring. Your sense of self is reorganizing from the inside. During this phase, belonging feels distant because you have not yet aligned with your new identity. Belonging follows alignment, not the other way around. So first, alignment must settle. This takes time. In the meantime, you may feel like you are floating between worlds, not fully rooted anywhere. This is not failure. It is transition. Transitions are uncomfortable because they lack structure. But structure will return. It will simply be built on honesty instead of adaptation. You are not meant to fit back into what you have outgrown. You are meant to find environments that do not require shrinking. Awakening removes your tolerance for shrinking. And that removal is why fitting in no longer works. Not fitting in after awakening does not mean you are meant to be alone forever. It means you are between identities. The old version of you no longer works, but the new one has not fully settled yet. This in-between space feels uncomfortable. You may feel untethered, unsure where you belong. But this phase is temporary. Awakening clears what is false before it builds what is true. First, the old structures dissolve. Then, new alignment forms. If you try to force belonging too soon, you risk returning to old patterns. This is why life creates distance. Distance gives you time to stabilize. During this phase, it is important not to judge yourself. You are not failing socially. You are reorganizing internally. Belonging is shifting from external acceptance to internal congruence. When you are congruent with yourself, belonging happens naturally. You will recognize it by ease. You will not need to adjust your tone or hide parts of yourself. Connection will feel simple, not effortful. Until then, it is okay to feel out of place. Out of place means you are no longer pretending. This honesty may reduce your circle temporarily. That reduction is not loss. It is refinement. Refinement creates space for resonance. Resonance does not need many people. It needs the right ones. As you honor this transition, your nervous system will relax. You will stop trying to fit back into what you have outgrown. Instead, you will allow life to rearrange around your truth. This rearrangement takes patience, but it always leads to environments that support who you are becoming. You are not meant to belong everywhere. You are meant to belong where you do not have to shrink. Awakening removes your tolerance for shrinking. That is why fitting in feels impossible now. But what feels impossible today will feel obvious later. One day you will look back and understand, not fitting in was not rejection, it was redirection. It guided you away from what no longer matched your frequency and toward connections that honor your presence. Until that alignment arrives, trust the process, trust the pause, trust the discomfort. You are not losing your place in the world. You are allowing a new place to form around you. And when it does, belonging will feel effortless again. Not because you tried harder, but because you finally stopped trying to be someone you are not.